Hey guys, Avatar 4 here today with my brother. We're going to be discussing Endgame, the final chapter of the Infinity Saga of the MCU, which is the first 22 films.
The $1.2 billion weekend.
Mm-hmm. I actually looked, they just confirmed the total. It's $1.222 billion. Even more than they predicted. Like 20,000 more. So,
Well,
yeah, good for Disney. But yeah, getting close to 3 billion, possibly. I mean, it's already like almost halfway there.
It needs to make $3 billion. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is our second attempt at doing this. Yesterday, we had a few issues and it ended up not uploading, so that was good.
We spent an hour and a half.
And it was perfect. It was good. I thought
filming
we
a
hit all
video
the-
only for the file to get corrupted.
Yeah. So, we're trying a different way of doing this, and yeah.
We'll see
So
what
we're
happens.
excited to talk about what we talked about yesterday and try to replicate that awesomeness. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Or-
are your opening thoughts then?
let's see. I've been saying it's a movie that I'm very I have a lot to say about it and a lot to
Well,
think.
I think everybody has a lot.
I say I really like it, but I don't love it. There's things that they kind of let me down on, but with that being said, there's a few things that I think are some of the coolest things by far that they've done in the MCU. So overall, I really like it, but I don't love it. How about you?
I'm pretty much the same. I think it's a really good movie. It's I mean, it's a good end to this whole first chapter really of the MCU. So it's definitely worth seeing, worth checking out. It's really good, but to some extent, I don't think it's great. And I don't think it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's still a good movie.
So yeah, we have this split up into different segments of our notes where we talk about characters, starting with the main six, starting out the original six Avengers for the MCU, and then work our way down to some characters that just had prominent roles in this movie, and then ones that we just wanted to talk about or had some cool moments worth noting, and then talk about more just specific aspects of the film and also the future of the MCU and what this sets up. So starting out, obviously, is Captain America, because this is like he had the coolest moments in this film, and he's the front runner.
Yeah, he gets the best moments in this movie. Also, did we mention this is spoiler heavy? It's probably right to do that.
I forgot to do that again. Yeah, this is we haven't said anything really besides what we thought. So yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it'll be in the title and everything.
Yeah, it'll be in the title. So if you didn't see the title,
how long have we
capital,
been talking? Right, I don't know.
we can't see it.
Yeah, several minutes now. Oh
So
yeah, by the way,
it's spoiler. I will put that in the description and title. So if you didn't read that, then
yeah.
I'm sorry, but okay.
I mean,
spoiler.
Most people have seen it by now.
If you're clicking on a
If
review
it makes
that's
$1 billion
spoiler,
in a weekend,
odds
most
are-
people have seen it.
at least the people that are so hardcore about like spoilers, yeah. So, okay, yeah. Starting out with Captain Marvel, Captain America.
We'll get
Not
to
Captain
We'll get
Marvel.
to Captain Marvel. Let's start with
this
Captain
is-
America.
yeah.
Captain America is the best part of the movie, and
Agreed.
and not only the best part of the movie, probably over the course of the MCU as a whole, I think the best character. He gets the moments in this movie. I mean, there's 3 of them really I can think of that I'm like, I mean, he gets the moment in the fight, the real fight scene where Thanos and his army are there, and Cap's been beat up. They've all been beat up, and then he stands up against the whole army, basically against himself, and he's got this broken shield. And then all the Snap characters come back, and it's just like, yeah. It's like
And
that's the height of the movie. The whole thing is just that moment.
And also after getting all of them getting basically owned by Thanos, he ends up when Thor's in trouble summoning Mjolnir and wielding it,
That was also super
throwing
cool.
lightning and owning Thanos before he gets.
I mean, especially since they had kind of teased that with, I guess it was
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, yeah, because they had the party where they're all trying to pick up the hammer, and he slightly moves it there, and Thor's a little bit worried, and then in this one, Thor basically tells him, he's like, I thought so, like he was worthy or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then he also has the other cool moment, really probably one of the coolest moments when they do start to go back in time, and they're in New York, and he's in the elevator, and all these guys are like Hydra agents or whatever, and he takes Loki's scepter, and he's like, Hail Hydra, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool.
So, yeah, I mean, Also, he gets the last shot of the movie, and it's him after he goes back in time to be with Peggy, using the songs to basically just live as a human with Peggy. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
well, yeah, this we're gonna. I mean, like we both sort of described that we thought this movie is really it's really good and satisfying into the MCU. So if we don't want to sound too negative, but we have negative things to mention.
We definitely have a lot of positives, but we also have some negatives though.
And one of them, I would say, with regards to Captain America at least, is he has his character's really the sole focus of the last 5-10 minutes of the movie, really, and he does he goes back in time and sort of sets up a separate timeline, I guess, is how it works out, where he ends up with Peggy. That's fine. You understand, like, he's never really forgotten about her or anything. I thought it was a bit strange. I believe they it was kind of established with Winter Soldier that she had a family, that she ended up marrying someone else. So, even though we know it's a different timeline, it's not exactly the same, but it's still a bit of a retcon. So I'm not super. It's nitpicking a little bit, but it's still kind of one of those things where I was thinking about that the whole time. That you see him, the final shot is just him dancing with Peggy, and I was thinking the whole time, well, we know she had a family.
Yeah,
they pretty much established that. Even
me, I'm torn on it. It's not what I wanted. I really wanted him to die. I guess I should talk about that. I think he earned it the most.
I think if he's been the
It's-
strongest character,
Yeah.
as a whole, which we thought that he was, I think his death would have been really impactful had it
Mhm.
happened. So yeah, I kind of wanted it to happen. Although he did look really good when he comes back to the present day and he's
Yeah.
super aged up.
Mhm.
I
Practical
guess that was
effects, I
just
guess,
all practical.
mixed
I
with
guess.
visual. I don't know, but they did a really good job.
I was fully believable that that's old Chris Evans, pretty much. It'd be like maybe when he's 80.
Yeah.
You can take the final shot in this movie and a picture of Chris Evans at 80 and see, let's compare. But yeah, that was, he looked really good when they aged him up. Well, that whole scene was another one where I'm gonna crack a little bit about it, because he ends up passing his shield, to Sam Wilson, which is that was really cool because he comes back and then there's Bucky's there, Sam's there, and he's sort of, passing on the torches as Captain America, and I know both Sam Wilson and Bucky have both been Captain America in the comics at different points in time, so you can't. I think there were probably a number of people who are like this that kind of wanted Bucky to be Captain America.
Yeah.
Although I think in the way they kind of set them up in the movies, it does make more sense, I guess, to make Sam Captain America. It has a similar kind of story background as Steve Rogers being in the military and everything.
Yeah.
Really, but it put me off a little bit because he doesn't really have him. He doesn't really talk to Bucky.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. Like, in a way, I certainly would have, if I would have known that they were going to set up the next Captain America, that I would just thought, oh, it's going to be Bucky. And in a way, like, I've grown, like, I'm fine with it being Sam. I just kind of wish they would have had a moment.
Yeah, that
Just them talking or something.
sort of before he went in time. I guess you kind of expected that he was going to live out a different life, I guess, because Bucky talks to him there and says that he's going to miss him. I think that's pretty sure that's exactly what he says. Some line with that. And but other than that, once he's kind of back as old Steve Rogers, they don't talk, and you kind of wanted it because there was a point where
they don't even look at each other.
Where Sam he's holding the shield, and then Sam says, "It doesn't feel right." I'm like, he's going to give it to Bucky, or he's going to turn to Bucky or something, and he doesn't do it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, Captain America, I still think it's the best part of the movie. Best part of
definitely.
the MCU, really. In terms of the consistency of his own movies as well.
Yeah, he had First Avenger, which I think is really good.
I think that's one of the more underrated ones.
Winter Soldier, which is one that's typically on top of lists, but it's truly good.
Most people consider it to be one of the best.
And
Civil
War, which people like. I like.
That one's really, introduces Black Panther and Spider-Man.
And, yeah.
So I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
most
he doesn't
consistent
have a
dud.
Iron Man.
I like
2,
Iron Man, Iron Man 3,
or- yeah, Iron Man 2 and 3. I think are two of the worst.
or Thor: Dark World. So yeah,
Yeah.
out of the three, he has the most consistent. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He gets the moments in the movie, and he's one of I think he's the best part.
so yeah.
And then
Moving on to the character who actually gave it all, sacrificed himself, Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, we kind of knew going into this that either Cap or Iron Man, one of those two, if not both, is going to die.
Yeah,
And
I expected both.
yeah, then Iron Man ends up being the one who goes out.
By
So-
snapping his fingers with all the Infinity Gauntlets and getting rid of all Thanos and his army, and doing that, he sacrificed
I
himself.
kind of knowing that because we do find out that that he and Pepper have a family now.
Mhm.
So knowing that, I kind of expected they might actually not kill him then. He might
he would just
He
retire.
might
and
just retire or something
yeah,
like that.
which would have been fine too.
But
Yeah, they didn't
yeah,
go that route.
he ended up going out, which was pretty neat because you could see coming was when Doctor Strange and he kind of makes contact with Iron Man on the battlefield, and then he just kind of it doesn't say anything. He just kind of holds up one figure, and you're like, oh, it's the one way out of all the 14 million or whatever he saw, and yeah, so it was. Yeah, Iron Man. I mean, he's the key part in this movie anyway, considering he develops the
time
time
travel.
travel.
Yeah, he makes it work, so
The-
that's kind of important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although that's one thing that was a bit weird. They never really explained how he actually did it. He just kind of did. It kind of happened, kind of suddenly. But they had to kind of go that route.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird having Pepper show up in a suit at the end.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
didn't because they
they
never really set that up that much. At least I don't think so. So
No.
it was just kind of that's I guess we have to get Pepper in somehow.
But at least she got to be there when he died and say like you can rest now. So she was
they
basically
had
there for the emotional impact.
I mean, because Iron Man
So-
kind of always been seen as kind of
Yeah.
really a damaged guy. Had set up like PTSD and stuff like that with him. Like, I guess it was Iron Man 3.
And on top of this, with now like you can see how Peter being gone and him feeling guilty for basically
he had
setting
a
up
specific
a kid to
connection
be
Peter Parker.
caught up in all that stuff. And as far as he's concerned, never coming back. That's been weighing on him all movie. And yeah, so I think it was satisfying.
Yeah, he gets the
Character
send
death,
off, and
definitely.
I really the funeral at the end.
Yeah, the
I mean,
funeral.
everybody being there, that was pretty.
Yeah, even Nick Fury standing up. That was cool.
Yeah, it was.
The only time he appeared.
Yeah, I mean everybody's there, and then they had the little proof that Tony Stark has a heart. The old
Yeah.
useless reactor from I guess that's from Iron Man 2, which was like, oh, still got it.
Oh, and also he got to see his dad, Howard, in the past.
That was cool. I like that. It was neat seeing you could see that kind of they kind of recognized him. He talked about his appreciation of his father, and
Yeah.
That's neat considering originally it's kind of started. He didn't really know much about his dad at all because that was like, my dad, just kind of
Yeah.
famous guy, but they weren't really close. And I mean, at the same time, you can kind of see Tony being the one to die, and he was the one that started everything, all the way 2008. So I guess time for him to go out and end it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Is that all about Iron Man?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Iron Man.
So,
And the third part of the sort of trinity, I guess, of the MCU is Thor. The three of them end up being the ones who primarily fight Thanos before everybody else shows up. Thor. This is a weird movie of Thor. I don't necessarily mean that as a bad thing, but it's not really what I expected.
No, definitely not. He coming off of Ragnarok, it seems like they kind of the more humorous aspect of the character, they kind of took that and put that into this movie as well. But this time for different reasons, where he's really.
I mean, he's fat the whole movie.
He's fat the whole movie. He has long beard until it gets braided, which is pretty cool at the end. But yeah,
Well,
the only time you'll see Chris Hemsworth fat. When he turned around, I was like, "What?" It was-
I didn't expect. He's just strong considering how much
yeah,
they failed to stop Thanos. Really,
because he was the one that basically could have.
I mean, he
Thanos.
pretty much lost everything.
Yeah.
His mom's dead. His dad's dead. His brother Loki has been dead multiple times, and
is currently
Jane Foster's gone. He pretty much, I guess,
yeah.
I guess it was Natalie Portman not wanting to do these movies or something. 'Cause she hasn't been around in forever. Even though she does show up in this
5
movie,
seconds
I guess,
he was
like,
in this movie,
couple
getting
seconds,
out,
yeah.
getting
He
off
doesn't
the
even talk to her
couch.
when they go back in time.
Yeah.
He talks to his mom. That was neat.
Yeah.
He got his cool
Yeah, that was
moment seeing his mom, who was killed in, I guess it was the Dark World. Yeah, she died in Thor 2. And I think it did get a little bit it's kind of old when the kind of gag of him being fat. Like,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh, whoa, Thor is a more typical buddy type. But then you get later in the movie and he's just, it's still kind of like that. Even after you think he's got his hammer and everything, he's kind of fighting. You would think he would kind of go back to normal, but he doesn't. And anytime they kind of bring that up, you're just kind of like, okay, we've seen this since the beginning of the movie, so it to me, it kind of wears on me a
Especially
little
during the final battle, like culminating everything that we've seen. I never would have thought that they would have taken Thor. I wanted to see Thor that we knew.
Yeah, he does set up this sort of new Asgard, I guess.
I
guess that pretty much everybody's dead
most
because
people.
their ship got wrecked.
Most people, in that town we didn't really see many people. Valkyrie's back, and now she's kind of like the queen because Thor put her in charge because now he's going off with the Guardians.
He goes off with the Guardians, so that's cool.
As Guardians of the Galaxy coming in 2020 maybe.
Like
2022.
they had the comment that was titled as Guardians of the Galaxy, so they better title him with as Guardians of the Galaxy, please.
Yeah.
But that'll be neat to have him kind of off with the Guardians because pretty much ever since they met with Infinity War, they've kind of been. I mean, if they're going the whole cosmic route, then they're not there. But I mean, I don't think Thor is a weak part of the movie. I mean, Thor's fine. I mean, Thor's awesome, but I think it's just different. You don't really expect Thor to show. Oh, Thor's here and he's fat, and I guess they all kind of wanted to go. To some extent, all of these characters were kind of damaged after the snap because they lost so much, and Thor just drinks himself into having a beer gut. And so with that we'll just move on to the Hulk because we're going through the main 6, and this Hulk has been the most inconsistent in terms of how he's been portrayed. Because
every time we see him, he's different.
Quite literally, the first time that Hulk was ever in the MCU was the Hulk movie from like 2008, which is bad, and it's not even the same actor because I guess they didn't like Edward Norton. But then the Hulk in the first Avengers movie, they're worried about containing him if he gets out of control, and he does because he goes crazy on the helicarrier. And then we see him at Age of Ultron. I guess he flies off at the end of Age of Ultron. But then after that, he's not seen again until Thor, Ragnarok, and then at that point he's been stuck as the Hulk for like 2 years, I think is what he says. And then in Infinity War, he can't turn into the Hulk. Yeah. And then now he's just the Hulk again, but he's basically Mark Ruffalo as the big green Mark Ruffalo because he's
by far the most human.
Because he's basically Bruce Banner. At the same time, all his mental capacity is the same.
Yeah, and it seemed like they used him a lot for comic relief, which was.
I mean, he has a scene with the kids where he's taking a selfie and stuff.
And also, like I told you, he dabbed.
I didn't notice that. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention. I didn't notice that he dabbed.
It was intensely cringy, so I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
but anyways,
he doesn't. I mean, I guess he gets his moment in here when
he does get to snap the fingers.
He does snap and brings
everyone back, so that's good.
So other than that, though, he doesn't.
He just smashes.
Yeah, well, he does meet the Ancient One.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
When they go back to New York, he does talk to the Ancient One, and you get some.
That's one time we see Bruce as Bruce.
A moment of exposition about the timelines and how the stones work and how the time travel thing is going to work out.
And he gets the time stone from Ancient One. He has to convince her to give it to him.
Well, he doesn't get a send off in this movie.
He doesn't.
I mean, at the end, I guess he sends Cap back in time, and that's it. That's all.
Yeah. So he worked kind of like as the scientist operator of like the quantum realm time travel stuff. So he was just kind of brains and comic relief and some smashing. So,
No, he was sort of. Yeah, I don't. He was sort of the brains, but because they get Tony Stark on board
yeah,
to do the whole time trial, he just kind of like, oh, he's not exactly the brains. So
he's a part of the brain.
yeah,
He's a contributor.
yeah he's he's not the strongest part,
No.
but he's there.
He's
And he
there.
gets his moment with the
Yep.
snap.
Yeah, so ready to move on to
Yeah,
the
we can-
second or the first in this movie, but the second character.
The first death chronologically, but the second death in terms
That we're
of the
discussing.
order we're going through, which is Black Widow,
Yeah.
being she's one of the original six.
sacrificing herself for
She's
the
actually
Soul Stone.
she's been around as long as almost well, other than Tony Stark. She appeared in Iron Man 2 in 2010, so she's been around for quite a while. She's been in a lot of movies, being in Winter Soldier and some of the others, and so she gets her moment to die.
Yeah.
And I kind of expected her to die. Really, realistically, in terms of her, I guess she and Hawkeye, their relative lack of powers compared to pretty much everybody else, you're not really surprised that she dies.
And then after seeing Infinity War, you know how you get the Soul Stone, and when they show up, and
Well,
it's her and Hawkeye.
As soon as they realize what they're going to do, they all go back in time to get the
Yeah.
stones, and you know
Hawkeye is a family now. She
either
won't let him do
Hawkeye or
that.
Black Widow are about to die because they have to get the Soul Stone, so one of
Yeah.
them is going to have to die. And they're not going to. Hawkeye lost his family, so they're not going to kill him.
But they fight for who's going over the edge, and she basically jumps off. He catches her, and then he has to let her go
And
because he can't
hold
pull
her.
her up.
He
Yeah.
can't get her up.
So, yeah. So she had a good. I thought that rounded her character well. She definitely. I think is definitely like
She's
a worthy death.
Yeah, he's been a great character over the course of the
Yeah.
11 years or so.
And she's been in quite a few movies. Like she played a good role in Winter Soldier.
Well, she's a kind of a crucial role in
Civil War.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Iron Man 2,
she's been around
Avengers,
quite a bit. And although I do have to say, it's disappointing that even though she has her moments in this, she ends up sacrificing herself to get the Soul Stone. But after that, she's forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when they all come back to the present
Very
day
bothersome.
and she, she's not there, and they all realize, that she's dead.
Yeah, and for
And-
like probably a 2-minute scene, they talk about like, can we get her back? They're like, no, this doesn't work that way because
And then after that, she's completely
and then
forgotten.
Captain America
Like,
cries,
why,
and then
I mean, obviously Tony gets
It's-
his funeral
yeah,
there at the end, but I don't know why Black Widow can't have a funeral,
yeah, I don't.
or at least
get it.
not. Like, give them one. They can have just one together at the same time.
Yeah, I expected when they laid the Tony Stark heart thing, and then like with the flowers on the river, so it, like floated away. I expected them to after we saw that Derby something with Black Widow, but nope.
I mean, yeah, that was disappointing that they kind of
Yeah,
she got kind of thrown under the bus there at the end because
Yeah.
no, they don't pay her any. She's forgotten about.
yeah.
And you're like, whoa. Like,
She is getting.
She's one of the the OG Avengers, and
Only after her death is she getting a movie, and I guess this proves that it'll be a prequel. Because
Yeah, I
there's
guess
no
we-
way.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be a prequel now.
So
It's not gonna be. Well, I guess it's just gonna be when she's young. Or, I guess we don't know at this point.
and they did have a few lines in there hinting at or telling who her father was, and we already know her kind of her history in
That was kind of
Budapest.
neat because I didn't catch it.
So-
When they're getting the Soul Stone, Red Skull calls her the daughter of Ivan. And I noticed that, but I didn't make the connection to Iron Man 2.
So maybe they'll go into a little bit of that in the movie. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
she really got, the fact that she was forgotten about in the end was that.
her death
I didn't
scene
like
was
that.
really well done, and then they were just
Yeah,
they just let it go.
I didn't like that, but
So yeah,
that was messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's and so kind of goes kind of just going along with her as Hawkeye. They've kind of always been a tandem, those two.
yeah,
So Hawkeye in this movie, I mean, he's there, the key part of getting the Soul Stone with her. He's actually he and his family are the key part of the opening scene, which was I liked the opening scene because I thought they set the tone really well with
Yeah.
him. You don't really know exactly what's going on, then you kind of realize that this actually is the snap itself when it occurs, because he's just with his kids and his wife, and then next thing you know they're gone. And he's just saying like, oh man, Hulk, his whole family's gone. And although I do have to say the whole thing with him being Ronin,
Yeah.
because he kind of goes rogue after he loses his family.
Nothing.
Where he kills he kind of, I guess really he kills members of a drug cartel, and he's going after I don't know,
Like
if
a
it's
vigilante.
I guess it's like Yakuza or something in Japan. I don't know, but that was kind of pointless. I mean,
It didn't go anywhere.
They probably shouldn't have even had that in the movie at all.
No,
Should just
it
cut
could
that
have
out.
just been Hawkeye.
Because
showing up.
I mean, it's basically him. He kind of goes rogue and just doing vigilante stuff, and then Black Widow gets him, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Then he's Hawkeye.
I don't know. I don't know why he couldn't have just shown up.
Sell toys. That was the reason.
I mean, yeah. Well,
He looked cool. I just expected him to be Ronin for the movie. That I guess just the new
or
Hawkeye.
significant. He's only. I mean, what? It's just a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's not much. I guess. Well, they got to cut his hair. But, you know, because he's been around for a while too, since like since Thor, yeah, so 2011, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been around a while, and
he got a few moments in the battle, really trying when they started playing. They keep away with the Infinity Gauntlet. They kept tossing it back and forth, and
Yeah,
probably he was like running away with it. That's basically what he did. But I mean, it's at least something.
Yeah, and then he ends up going back to his family there at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then he goes and, or actually, because his family's gone when they do go back in time the first time.
First time travel test, he does it.
Yeah, he goes and sees his family, and then
And
at
it
the
works.
end once they get everybody back, he ends up. You just kind of see him going with his family. So I guess we're assuming he's retired.
Yeah.
Basically, because he's kind of basically retired multiple times now, but maybe this is retired for good with Hawkeye. They can just get some other characters in there. But he has,
So he was weaved throughout the story a lot. I mean, he didn't have as many like just key moments.
He doesn't really have any.
He was there.
Super strong
present
moments, but he's the beginning of ever since the beginning of the movie. Most of the way through, he's a key part.
Yeah. And want to get into Nebula now?
Yeah. So we've covered that's the big six, like the
Yeah.
original characters, and the other characters are basically the only couple that were around that weren't caught up in the snap. I guess is Nebula,
War Machine.
War Machine, Rocket's one that didn't get snapped.
They were there. They just didn't have like.
Yeah,
any
War
specific
Machine's
moments.
just kind of he's there. He's there doing a job, and Rocket I guess he's kind of just there for comedy.
Yeah,
to some
making
extent.
jokes, some inappropriate jokes.
Nebula
funny.
actually has quite a bit of screen time in this movie.
She does. The most we've seen in a
She's
movie.
got more screen time than Black Widow does.
Somebody
Partially because she dies that
Yeah.
in the movie. But.
So much Black Widow's only there for half the movie, but so much that there's like two Nebulas. So
Yeah, she gave me. I thought it was neat seeing how she was, a daughter of Thanos who.
Yeah.
It's like she's a villain when you first meet her in Guardians of the Galaxy, and now she's kind of on the side of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like Dad. And it was you kind of see her being the torment she goes through with the way Thanos actually kind of
Thanos uses her as a pawn.
Yeah. Well, he basically just extracts
Her memory.
her memories and what
to
she's
get his
seen.
information that he needs or wants, and he's used her, and that's what sets up the whole conflict.
They literally kill the
bad one.
The bad one.
Yeah.
I guess it's the old one, or sort of the new one.
So she kills herself. The new one kills the old.
Yeah, they kill the. They kill the. They kill
the new one kills the old.
They kill the bad Nebula, and the good one's still around.
Yeah. So.
She doesn't. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, she's with the Guardians when they leave at the end. So.
Yeah.
I guess she'll just be.
She'll be a Guardian now, I guess.
Stuck with that team.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Well, she's taking Gamora's place because Gamora's not there.
Yeah, Gamora's not there. Rip.
Okay, well, we do have a bad Gamora now.
They do have bad Gamora.
Because she kind of died and.
Yeah. Yeah, Thanos
she died
sacrificed
with
herself
Thanos had to get the
soul stone, so she's gone for good right now.
Yeah, and then because Gamora does show up there, and then the bad version of Gamora, and then so she kind of still with Thanos. So they just kind of swap places, basically.
Yeah.
But it was we need seeing the sort of transformation of Nebula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then so that makes I guess the only other key character really this prominently we haven't mentioned is Ant-Man.
He actually
In
gets
terms of
quite a bit
heroes.
of like screen time. He doesn't have like
Well,
as many
he's the key part because you
critical
see him
moments,
pretty soon after you get into the movie, and it's just kind of he basically manages to get out of the quantum realm.
yeah.
'Cause he's been trapped there.
Since we saw the in credit scene at Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Yeah, they say
he
that
was stuck.
what was 5 years
For 5
for
years.
everybody else was only
But
a
it
few
seemed
hours.
like 5 hours for him.
And he kind of has the idea because of being in the quantum realm. He's like, we can time travel. And
Yeah,
fix
he
this
brings
stuff.
up the time travel, so he's pretty important in that aspect. And then he visits his daughter because he comes out. Obviously, the world's a wreck, and he doesn't know what's happened, and he has to figure out that about the snap, and then seeing the world like it is. And then he goes through the names and finds out his daughter's still alive, and they have a moment, and then he goes to the Avengers compound and.
Yeah, and he goes giant again.
Yeah,
in
he
this
goes
movie
giant,
there.
obviously, because that's just cool. And
when they're fighting at the
yeah,
end.
so that's cool. He steps on a guy.
What? How does he end up? Do you remember? I guess he's just with like I don't even remember what the last part of his scene.
We just see him. We just see him with his daughter and Hope, like watching the movie. So it's kind of like a happy ending for him.
Oh yeah,
That's all we see, really.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he'll just kind of be like on call.
Yeah.
If they need him.
Yeah, I think he's still an Avenger.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's just he didn't have to be there every time. Yeah, just kind of whenever they need him. I guess Wasp too. Hope. Now that she's back, she could be on call too.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a third movie
he
in the works.
does get a fair bit of screen time in that.
He does.
because since he has the idea and he goes with him in the time travel,
Yeah.
so he's around quite a bit. I mean, he kind of fights a little bit in the battle, and then he's not super key to everything, but he gets his moments in this. We're gonna because I've been waiting to talk about this because now that we've gotten that's pretty much all the characters who are really featuring. One that I want to talk about because I think it's probably the worst part of the movie as a whole is Captain Marvel. She's not in the movie very much.
She's not. I saw something. It was a breakdown. She had like 10 minutes total screen time.
She's there in the movie because she brings Iron Man back to Earth and Nebula back to Earth, and then she's